What's up, everybody? We're here and we are starting the Johto changes. So, I said this in the end of the last video and I briefly touched on it in the server. If you are new here, hi, welcome. And this is very loud. Jesus, let's turn that down. Come on. Forgot to put it down this time. I always do that. So, okay, that's kind of quiet though. It's fine. That's fine. So, as I was saying, if you're new here, hi, welcome. If you are returning, also hello. And I will give a quick update really quickly before I get into Meganium here. So quickly, I will just say that I will not be uploading for most of the weekend, but I will be uploading again on Monday. But I will be getting some work done over the weekend. I have like stuff going on, so I can't really. Yeah, I'll be away from home. So with that being said, yeah, we're beginning Johto, and I am excited to get into it. So as for this line, as a whole, they are much bulkier. What's something that's controversial? Well, a lot of other hacks have normalized Grass Fairy Meganium, thankfully, so I don't have to do as much legwork to justify it. Although it is a slight reach. Like, you could argue that Dragon fits, you could argue Pure Grass is fine. I had a bunch of different ideas. I went back and forth with it for a bunch. I had to compare it to all the other Grass Fairies. I had to compare it to all the other Grass Dragons and all the other Pure Grass types. It would be horribly outclassed by Tangrowth if it was Pure Grass, so Pure Grass is off the table. Tangrowth would just be better. Yeah, it has thick fat, but other than that, I mean, in a different move pool, sure, but Tangrowth would just be better overall, just based on the stat distribution and whatnot, because it's super slow, so it gets more stats. Speaking of, that's why the speed is much lower on this line as a whole. It also fits. I mean, they're like a Brontosaurus, Brachiosaurus. I don't know the exact term, but I'm not super invested. I mean, I used to be a dinosaur kid. I think we all were at one point, but it's been years. But they're like a gentle giant. I mean, 80 speed is definitely weirdly high. I think they just copied Venusaur's stats and then gave it more bulk. I'm pretty sure that's what they did. Same thing with how Typhlosion has copy pasted Charizard stats in the original games. It's pretty weird that they did that, but I think that's also why Blastoise and Feraligatr had the same speed. I think they did that on purpose as like a cool little nod, because like Gold, Silver, Crystal is supposed to be like sequels, kinda, in a weird way. So the stats for the most part aren't super logical for the lines as a whole. I could have even dropped defense a little bit and put more in like HP, but whatever. But I think 100 defense is fine. It's very useful for it. So that's why I had to drop speed. I mean, they're like kind of like a gentle giant type vibe. They're slower. I wouldn't see them moving around super quickly, and this allows me to give them better stats. So HP is more based on size now. I say this in pretty much every video. They are a 6-foot tall dinosaur that's over 200 pounds. 112 HP with Regenerator is excellent. That's also another thing I have to address is Regenerator. The line as a whole has this. It's an amazing ability. We all know how good it is. Meganium was previously considered, rightfully so, to be the worst starter, fully evolved starter. Like, just viability-wise, it's the worst. And I don't think that's I think that's like objectively true in terms of like stats and viability and whatnot, and abilities, especially because they gave it fucking Leaf Guard. Like, are you kidding? They couldn't give it something better. As for other abilities I considered Grassy Surge. Technically no other Grass Fairy has Grassy Surge right now, so it would fit, but I like Thick Fat more personally. Grassy Surge and Regen would be really strong though, so comment below. I don't know, it fits as well, but I'll keep Thick Fat. I think it's cute. I think it's cool. And it is also kind of similar to Mega Venusaur in that sense. So Grass Fairy type. Bug type is now neutral on Fairy, therefore Grass Fairies are weak to Bug. So it's gained a new weakness, but it still has. So I'll show, like, I don't know, what's it? Tapu Bulu is actually not even going to be Grass Fairy anymore. But yeah. Just to show the stat, just to show the type effectiveness. Grass. So when Meganium resists water, electric, grass, fighting, ground, dark, 6 very good resistances, and then immunity to dragon. Those are all great. In exchange, without Thick Fat, you have a weakness to fire, flying, bug, steel, and ice, and then a 4 times weakness to poison. With Thick Fat, you remove the ice and fire weaknesses and they become neutralities, which is really nice. So with Thick Fat, you're only weak to steel, flying, bug, and then a 4 times weakness to poison. So you have 3 regular weaknesses and a 4 times weakness to poison. Could be worse for sure. And you have a lot of great resistances and immunities, so it kind of evens out. So yeah, I think that's great. Regenerator is also great. obviously, with 112 base HP as well. And I'll cover the nitty-gritty of Regenerator and viability and stuff. But basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be running regen most of the time, unless there is a fire or ice type that you need to, or a fire ice type move that you need to survive for that specific boss battle, which is why you have infinite ability capsules. You can just swap it on and off. Boom. Now you're chilling. You got the big fat for one battle, then you put the Regenerator back on. And the AI can't really abuse Regenerator too well. So that's that. The pre-evolutions follow similar stat spreads as Meganium. They just have much better, just more like better speed F, lower, more HP, that kind of thing. More special attack slightly. So that's another thing. Meganium now has excellent 112, 100, 115 bulk. Very good mixed overall bulk. 48 speed isn't unusable. You could run a scarf set if you really needed it, but you also have priority dual stab, being seed shot, leaf flurry, pixie dust, and fairy blow for priority. So that's great. You don't really need your speed stat that much. And then you have solid, not great, just solid mixed offenses, because again, this is more of a defensive tanky Pokemon than it is an offensive one. So you have 82 attack and 93 special attack, and that is pretty reasonable. They previously had very equal stats. I'm pretty sure these are like almost copied from Venusaur, just with like some tweaks. So that's probably why they give it balanced stats. But this is back in like 1999, dude. They didn't give a fuck. They still don't give a fuck, but they give more of a fuck now at least. Than they did back then. But some Johto Pokemon are terrible, which is why I'm excited to get to all of them. Obviously, there was a bunch that we already technically covered with the Kanto stuff, but yeah. Hopefully that covers all the stat stuff. It's a mixed attacker. It's usable. It's got the 82 attack, which fits given the fact that it's a 6 foot tall, like, little dinosaur guy, but not any more than that. I mean, the max it would go would be like 90 something, and they need other stats other places, so this fits fine, kind of like a gentle giant, but they still have a usable attack. They can pack a punch, especially with the boosting move, because they already got Swords Dance beforehand, and I gave them bulk up. And Dragon Dance technically is like a niche option, although again, the speed set is not the greatest. You could use it. Swords Dance especially being probably one of the best ones, because with your good bulks, you can click a Swords Dance very reliably, and you can click your Seed Shot and your Fairy Blow for priority, and then you have a bunch of other good physical moves for coverage, and arguably better coverage on the physical side actually. You have ground moves with Bulldoze, Stomping Tantrum, and Earthquake, and then Earth Power especially. You have Zen Headbutt and Psychic. You have Iron Head and Iron Tail on the physical side. You have Stone Edge, Rock Slide, and Rock Tomb on the physical side, and Ancient Power on the special side. So you got decent coverage. You got Weather Ball and the weather. You got Nature Power under terrain, becomes like Thunderbolt when electric terrain, and what's another move type that you don't get? I think that's all. Am I stupid? What's the other? What, dude? Hold on. It gets fairy moves. It gets psychic. It gets grass. Yeah, no. So it's just I'm not crazy. It's just electric terrain that's spelled for Nature Power. Although technically Nature Power was earlier than Moonblast and stuff. So yeah, you could still make use of that in Misty Terrain. If you happen to have a Misty Surgemon, you may as well use the Misty Terrain. You may as well use a Nature Power TM. But otherwise, mostly just for Thunderbolt, which is nice to have an electric terrain boosted. Given the fact that electric terrain is now a TM, you can just run, an electric terrain team and just have your Meganium there with Thunderbolt. Same goes for Weather Ball and Rain teams and Sun teams and Sand teams and Hail teams. And then again, you have all those other coverage I listed already. You also have Calm Mind on the special side and Ingrain for boosting offensives. So Calm Mind and Ingrain boost the same stats, but Ingrain gives you -5 speed, but it locks you in and gives you the residual healing each turn. So that can be situationally much better than Calm Mind. So that's cool to have. So that's awesome. And then you have Floral Guard for bulk sets. Floral Guard gives you +1 to both your defenses, so that's very great. You have a lot of great reliable recovery moves, so I'll cover those now. You have Synthesis by Tutor that works in the sun, and then you have Floral Healing, which actually heals 2/3. So I changed it. For those of you who aren't familiar with my work, like I changed literally every move to some extent. I think actually literally every single move to some extent, besides maybe like Earthquake and like a handful of others, but there's like 800 moves in the game, so the vast majority are changed. So Floral Healing used to like target allies and it was shitty. Same thing with Floral Guard, although I actually renamed that from Flower Shield just because it, you know, I kind of like the move being this like floral something. I like that. So that's cool. And Floral Healing heals 2/3 onto grassy terrain, and it doesn't get hindered in like any other thing. Versus Synthesis will actually heal less in the rain and sand and stuff. I believe sand as well. So that's nice to have. I know for a fact it's rain. I forget if it's sand as well. It may not be actually. Don't care enough to Google it right now. But yeah, you have Flow Healing on the grassy terrain, super good. I also added that to Venusaur because I forgot to give it to Venusaur, and Mega Venusaur with Grassy Guard is great, but this is not a Venusaur video, so take that with a grain of salt for now. I will eventually go back and make videos for them, just not anytime soon. Probably when I just get to everything else, I'll just go back and get up to where I left off in Kanto and finish those up for videos. So yeah. You have Wish, which is amazing. Wish with Regenerator is great. You can Wish Pass. You have 112 base HP, so like if you're running max HP, you can heal, and you can get really, really big, meaty wishes off. So that's really awesome to have. And then you have Strength Sap at level 58, which is God tier healing. And of course you have Giga Drain and Draining Kiss as well. But Strength Sap, it only has 2 BP, but it's still excellent, super excellent. Super, it makes you bulkier. It heals so much more than all these other moves. Super great move to have. So it makes it super tankier than it already is. So that's that for healing. In terms of utility, it has a lot. So you have Leech Seed, which is excellent with Regenerator, because you can get the Leech Seed off and then switch out and blah, blah, blah. Or you can just stay in and heal up. You have Growth, which is good under Sun early game. Most Pokemon get Growth later, but since these guys are slow and they don't have like a Sun ability, I figured giving them Growth early is nice because Sunny Day is a TM, so you can get +2. And you can actually get up to +4 under the Sun, and then you can use like Leaf Flurry and Seed Shot, so you can teach yours Sunny Day, or teach something else Sunny Day, and run a Sun set early game, which is nice to have. Obviously, you probably get rid of it later because you just have better moves you want, but it's nice to have regardless, especially with the priority. And the Mega Drain as well. Mega Drain heals 75% of each damage dealt, so it's 60 base power, heals 75%, while Giga Drain is 75 base power and heals 50% of damage dealt. So Giga Drain will obviously do much more damage, but Mega Drain technically heals more overall, a pretty significant portion more, but not to the point where it's like, oh my god, this isn't overpowered or anything. It's just a nice option to have over Giga Drain, so that's cool. So other utility, I already covered aggression, floral healing. You have Sweet Scent, which is buffed to essentially be like a special tickle. So it drops special attack and special defense by 1, which is excellent, especially in the mid-20s when you have all of those. You have, Rapid Fire Totem, you got Rakwanid, Marowak, and Lurantis all one after each other. Obviously, this is great to have in general, especially with Regenerator. You can debuff something and then switch out. Same goes for Charm. And also Stun Spore is nice for paralysis on some of the totems and whatnot. Magical Leaf is very cool. It's 60 base power, but it always gives you a +1 special defense boost, so you can use that to rack up the stat boosts. It's pretty nice, like Draining Kiss and shit, and just get super bulky. Charm and Sweet Scent are good for debuffing. Later on, you will get access to Aromatic Mist, which is a strict upgrade to Sweet Scent. This is slightly more exclusive. Sweet Scent is on like fucking almost all like grass types and other mons that make sense to get it. The Aromatic Mist is only on ones that are really, really like scent oriented, and these guys obviously are. I mean, their whole thing is like aroma makes the petals calm, blah 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 blah. Like, and then Bay Leaves is all about like aroma that makes them that makes you want to fight and shit. I could have given them Rage Powder. I should have given them Rage Powder, but it doesn't. It's useless. There's like not that many double battles on the hack. It's not worth the moveset, so I don't really bother giving Pokemon like Follow Me and Rage Powder by level up anymore, unless they have like such a barren move pool to where like it's worth putting there just to bring, like for example Tangela. It's not a barren move pool, but by level up, I'll just go to it. They had like not that many level up moves that made sense because a lot of their moves are TMs, so I just threw it in there just to have it. It's cool anyways. It has a cool Z effect and stuff. So anyways, back to Meganium. There we go. So yeah, I mean, it's by far no longer, it's not bad anymore. I mean, it's a great Pokemon. It's a great bulky mon, great typing, great stats, great move pool. It's a good mon. Everything else is now too, but it's cool for Meganium because again, they were by far the worst of the starters, which is sad because they're a cute little design. I like them. back to utility. So yeah, aromatic mist is just a strict upgrade. It's just it's -2 with special attack and special defense, so that's excellent. Ingrain I already covered why that's great. Sleep powder is 85% accurate, and you're slow, so you're probably going to be getting 2 turns of setup, which is really nice to have. So that's definitely something to consider using, although it's still slightly inaccurate, so you might want to use a wide lens or something. I believe with wide lens it becomes, let's do the wide lens is busted via 15% boost, so yeah, you become 98% accurate, which is like that's like, you know, basically 100%. I mean, it sucks if you miss it, but it is what it is. So that's nice to have if you need the sleep guaranteed. But you are bulky enough and you have regenerator, so if you like click a sleep powder just to go for it, it's not, you know, when you miss it, it's not the end of the world. It's not like you're a super fast Pokemon that if you miss it, you're fucking dead. You know, you're bulky. You can just recover it off. By recover, I mean like get HP back and not literally use recover. So that's cool to have. Sleep powder and all sleep moves, besides the ones that make you drowsy. All of the direct sleep moves are 2 turns exactly now. So that's awesome. So if you're faster, if you outsped whatever you click sleep powder on, you only get 1 turn of sleep to abuse. But if you're slower, meaning they hit you first, then you get 2 full turns. So in Meganium's case, that works out in its favor. Obviously, you have to take the hit, but then you can use those next turns to do whatever you got to do. You can click Soros Dance, you can click Strength Step, you can click 2 Calm Minds. 2 Calm Minds is great. You can also use the sleep powder to bypass taunt. So, and you also get a speed F boost from using that, so that's great. Frenzy Plant is so there are a bunch of moves now that I've created that drop your stats by 2. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this by now, but for those of you who are not, I will cover it quickly. But my point is that those work wonderfully with Regenerator. If this would load, I clicked it. Thank you. There we go. So here they are. Here's all those moves. They all drop your stats by 2. Just whatever, you know, your attack or special attack by 2. So that's excellent. I mean, Leaf Storm, Frenzy Plant, Superpower by Post Game Tutor, and Floor Cannon, Stab. So you have dual stab, special move, and then Frenzy Plant is much earlier. Same with Woodhammer, because your physical attack was lower. So I want to encourage the use of physical Meganium. So therefore, it learns them earlier. And the really cool thing with Regenerator and these moves is that, you know, you get the -2 special attack. So 150 base power, 100% accurate is great. I mean, that's amazing. Second hit will be 75 base power, so overall you're hitting 225 base power in 2 turns, which is an average of 112.5, which is actually stronger. So for example, 2 Frenzy Plants in a row is much stronger than 2 C-Bombs in a row. I mean, 2 C-Bombs in a row is only slightly stronger than 1 Frenzy Plant, you know, let alone 2. So that's amazing to have. And the great thing is you can then switch out and remove the drop rather, and get HP back. So switching out is really, really useful with those. So you can use Frenzy Plant or Leaf Storm or Floor Cannon or Superpower and then just get the stat drop and then use it twice in a row, kill something, and then switch the fuck out and get your HP back and reset your stat drops. So that's really awesome to have with Innovator Pokemon. Really, really good. And then of course you still have your regular stuff, like, you know, you got your Woodhammer and Chloroblast, both of which are recoil moves, 125 base power. You have good added effects, just nice moves to have, especially with the Regenerator. You can heal off the recoil as well, although Shell Bell also negates recoil now. Well, it heals 20% of damage dealt, so moves like Play Rough and Rock Climb and Takedown, which are 110 base power, have 20% recoil, so those will have no recoil with the Shell Bell, but the 125 base power recoil moves will have 5% recoil because they have 25% overall, so, you know, do the math and it ends up being 5% net recoil, net HP loss from recoil. Which is minuscule, so, you know, it's there. Yeah, you got, I already said Strength Step. Purify, Purify gives you an Omni boost, and also Purify is interesting because if you use it to cure a status condition, you get all your HP back now. So, for example, if you use Sleep Powder on a Pokemon, and then on the turn where they're supposed to wake up, you click Purify before they wake up, then you get all your HP back, and it wastes their turn, I believe. Although maybe they would actually still attack. I'm not positive how that mechanic would work. I'm too lazy to look into it right now. I'm kind of in a rush, so yeah, I mean, not much else to talk about. I mean, you got Purify Omni Boost is very solid. Not anything groundbreaking. It's just nice to have the option. Seed Flare Petal Dance, just 2 powerful moves. Seed Flare is 85% accurate, 120 base power, but it has a 40% chance to drop your speed F by 2. So that's extremely good, but not that amazing. It's good though. It's great. And then you have Pedal Dance, which I don't like these types of moves, but on the Pokemon that really fit to have it, I'll give it to them. Like, you know, Lilligant and Meganium and shit, I'll give it to them as an option. I just don't like these moves though, but it's there. It's strong. It's drawback for you besides the locking you in. Blah 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 blah. You guys know what it does. I already covered all the recoil options. Sorry, recoil. I mean coverage options. I covered all the coverage. Got a bunch of other utility by TM and tutor. Oh, another huge thing is Regenerator Parting Shot. I actually considered not giving them Parting Shot because it feels kind of weird. You know, Meganium's all like pure and like has this like healing, calming aura. So like, why would it be able to like yell at you and be a dickhead and be like, get the fuck out of my face? But then I remembered Bayleaf has the aura that makes you want to fight, and so I was like, you know what, I can justify Parting Shot. It's kind of like the same logic as Taunt. Like, you know, anybody can, like any Pokemon can be like, hey, stop doing that. I can taunt you versus like I can yell at you meanly. It's literally like you could literally just picture it as like say for example, they had Growl, which they don't have Growl obviously, but if they had Growl, like they would just be using Growl, switching out. You know, so it's like grr, angry, and then they switch out. That's it. Like just before they switch out, they just are an asshole. That's it. All right, that's what you gotta think about. So that's great for Regenerator. I mean, that's excellent. I don't need to explain why that's good. It's just really useful and great for pivoting. Super bulky and strong and useful. Very great mon. Now I think that's about it. Not too much else to cover. I wanted to be kind of concise. I think I covered literally all grounds though. I did a good job for that. So yeah, and then also Overgrow on the pre-evolutions is just, well, number one, it's just like obligatory, and then also it's a good ability. Very underrated abilities actually. With Endure, you can really take advantage of them as well. So for example, you could run like a sunset with Overgrow and Growth. So you can get like a sunny day, Endure, Growth, plus like Leaf Flurry or something. I mean, I'm not saying like you have to set up the sunny day yourself. You can also just get a teammate to do it. But technically you do it all on yourself. And what that would mean is that you get the 50% boost from Overgrow, the +2 special attack from Growth and the Sun, and then you got the Leaf Flurry. You can also use Weather Ball. Once you get to Totem or Rockwanid type era, you'll be getting Weather Ball as a TM as well. So you got the Fire type Weather Ball, the Leaf Flurry, the Giga Drain, and you got the +2 special attack and the Sun, Overgrow. It's nice. You can really make some good use of Overgrow. Regenerator is obviously amazing, but Overgrow is situationally very powerful, especially with Endure being a reteachable TM. So I think that's about it to cover. Thanks for listening to this one, and I'll be back. I'll be working on the sheets throughout the weekend, but I won't be back to record anything until Monday. So if you're only here on YouTube, I think you should join my Discord server. Just, nice suggestion. If not, you have the link to the sheets in the description. You can check that periodically, whenever the hell you feel like it, if you care. If that interests you. Yeah. That's about it to cover. So thanks for listening, and I'll be back eventually.